The wireless mouse sitting next to your laptop right now has a secret. Not a small secret, not a technical footnote buried in a spec sheet. A secret worth billions of dollars, carefully maintained by every major peripheral brand simultaneously. Because the moment you understand it, you will never buy a wireless mouse the same way again. 5 scams running right now. Inside products sold by Logitech, Razer, Microsoft, Apple, and every brand that has ever put the word precision or pro on a mouse box. Each one exposed by the engineering data, the teardown reports, and the pricing math that these companies spend millions in marketing to make sure you never think about. If you have a wireless mouse within arm's reach right now, pick it up, because by the end of this video, you are going to look at it completely differently. The DPI lie. Every wireless mouse box has a DPI number on it. 1,600 DPI, 4,000 DPI, 8,000 DPI, 25,600 DPI. The number gets bigger every year, the price goes up with it, and the professional buyer, the office worker, the creative, the remote professional, reads that number and assumes bigger means better. It does not, and the brands know it. DPI stands for dots per inch. It measures how many individual points of movement your mouse sensor registers per inch of physical movement. Here's the number that no brand will ever print on the box. The optimal DPI range for precision professional work, graphic design, video editing, document navigation, spreadsheet work is between 800 and 1,600 DPI, not 25,600, not 8,000, 800 to 1,600. Above 1,600 DPI, cursor movement becomes so sensitive that minute hand tremors, the natural micro movements every human hand makes constantly, translate into visible, uncontrollable cursor drift on screen. Professional esports players, people whose livelihood depends on pixel-perfect cursor precision, compete at between 400 and 800 DPI, lower than the default setting on most office mice sold today. So why does Logitech advertise 25,600 DPI on the MX Master 3? Why does Razer advertise 30,000 DPI on the ProClick? Why does every brand race to print the largest possible number on the box? Because DPI is a marketing metric, not a performance metric. It is a number that sounds impressive, cannot be easily evaluated by the average buyer, and costs the manufacturer nothing to increase, because sensor firmware changes are essentially free at production scale. The MX Master 3 costs $99. The actual sensor, a PixArt PAW3370, costs approximately $3.50 wholesale. The DPI specification printed on the box costs Logitech $0 additional to change from 4,000 to 25,600. But it costs you the cognitive confidence that you bought a professional tool, when in reality, you bought a $3.50 sensor in a $99 chassis, marketed with a number that most professionals will never use and that actively degrades precision if they try. The DPI arms race is not engineering progress. It is a marketing competition using a specification that sounds technical enough to justify a premium price, and meaningless enough that nobody ever calls the brands out on it. Now you know. Set your mouse to 1,000 DPI. Feel the difference. The brands are hoping you never do. The battery life exaggeration. Every wireless mouse advertises a battery life figure. Logitech MX Master 3, 70 days. Razer ProClick, 400 hours. Microsoft Arc Mouse, 6 months. These numbers are not lies in the legal sense. They are measured under conditions so carefully engineered to produce the largest possible number that they bear essentially no relationship to the battery life you will actually experience at your desk. Here is how the battery life testing works. Manufacturers measure battery life with the mouse in use for 8 hours per day at the lowest possible polling rate, 125 Hz, with the RGB lighting completely disabled in a temperature-controlled environment at exactly 25 degrees Celsius, moving at a slow and consistent speed with no rapid acceleration. Here is how you actually use a mouse. Polling rate set to 1000 Hz, the default on most devices because 125 Hz produces visibly laggy cursor movement. RGB enabled because it was on when you unboxed it and you never turned it off. Used in an office that fluctuates between 18 and 28 degrees Celsius. Moved with the rapid variable acceleration of a real working day. Quick jumps across multiple monitors, precise slow drags in creative applications, everything in between. Under real professional working conditions, independent battery testing by rtings.com and Hardware Unboxed consistently finds wireless mice delivering 40 to 60% of advertised battery life. The Logitech MX Master 3's advertised 70 days becomes 28 to 42 days in actual use. The Microsoft Arc Mouse's 6 months becomes 10 to 14 weeks. This matters beyond the inconvenience of charging more frequently. It matters because battery anxiety, the same phenomenon we discussed with power banks, affects mouse users too. Professionals who experience unexpected mouse battery death during a working day report it as one of the most disruptive technical interruptions possible. Worse than a slow laptop, worse than poor Wi-Fi, because it stops work completely and instantly with zero warning on most devices. Logitech's solution? The MX Master 3 has a fast charge feature. 1 minute of charging provides 3 hours of use. Excellent engineering. The fact that it is necessary is the admission that the 70-day figure is a fiction designed to make the product feel more premium than the reality of your charging cable confirms. The battery life number on the box is not a promise. It is a laboratory result from a test designed by the brand to produce the highest possible number legally defensible as accurate. Divide it by 2. That is your real-world battery life. The brands are counting on you never doing that calculation until after you have already bought it. it. The wireless tax. This is the one that will make you genuinely reconsider your last purchase. Pick any wired mouse, then find its wireless equivalent from the same brand. The wireless version costs between $30 and $80 more every single time, across every brand, without exception. Here is what that premium actually pays for. A 2.4 GHz wireless receiver, the USB dongle in the box, costs approximately 80 cents to $1.20 to manufacture at scale. A Bluetooth chip costs approximately 50 cents to 90 cents. A lithium-ion battery sufficient for wireless mouse use costs approximately $1.50 to $2.50. A charging port, USB-C or proprietary, costs approximately 30 cents to 60 cents. Total additional component cost for wireless functionality, approximately $3.10 to $5.20 per unit. Logitech charges $40 more for the MX Master 3 versus a comparable wired Logitech mouse. Razer charges $50 more for the ProClick versus the wired equivalent. Apple charges $30 more for the Magic Mouse wireless versus... Wait, Apple does not make a wired mouse, because Apple understood long ago that the wireless tax is more profitable when there is no wired alternative to expose it. The wireless premium across the industry averages $38 above comparable wired performance. The actual engineering cost of wireless functionality, $3 to $5. That is a $33 to $35 pure margin extraction on the premise that you value the absence of a cable enough to pay 10 times the actual cost of removing it. And the performance trade-off that the brands never discuss? A quality wired mouse has zero latency. Zero. The signal travels at the speed of electricity through a cable. A wireless mouse at 2.4 GHz has a polling latency of 1 to 8 milliseconds, depending on interference, distance, and environmental RF noise. For office work, the difference is imperceptible. For precision creative work, it is measurable. For professional gaming, it is significant enough that every major esports competition, without exception, is played with wired mice. You paid $38 extra for technology that introduces latency, requires charging, risks running out of battery, and costs the manufacturer $4 to include. The wireless tax is the most profitable per unit margin in the peripheral industry, and it is collected from professionals who simply do not want a cable on their desk. Logitech understands your desk aesthetics better than you understand their cost structure. Now you do too. The ergonomic upsell. The word ergonomic on a mouse box is worth approximately $25 to $60 in additional retail price. Here is what it costs the manufacturer to add it. Ergonomic mouse design. The thumb rest, the vertical angle, the contoured grip is a tooling decision made during industrial design. The mold costs more up front. The unit manufacturing cost difference between a standard mouse and an ergonomic mouse from the same component tier is approximately $2 to $4 per unit at production scale. Logitech MX Vertical, marketed as the flagship ergonomic mouse, retails at $99. The standard Logitech M705 with identical sensor technology retails at $39. Price difference, $60. Actual engineering cost difference, $3 to $4. The word ergonomic on the box, $56 in pure margin. Now for the part that the ergonomic mouse marketing never mentions. The clinical evidence for ergonomic mice preventing or reducing repetitive strain injury is genuinely mixed. A 2019 systematic review published in Applied Ergonomics analyzed 23 studies on ergonomic mouse design and found, quote, insufficient evidence to conclude that ergonomic mice significantly reduce musculoskeletal symptoms compared to standard mice in office populations. 23 studies. Insufficient evidence. The most effective intervention for mouse-related repetitive strain is not the mouse shape. It is taking regular breaks, maintaining correct posture, and keeping the mouse close to the body to avoid shoulder abduction. All of those interventions cost exactly $0. The ergonomic mouse industry sells a $99 solution to a problem that is primarily solved by behavior, not hardware. The $60 premium you paid for the vertical angle is funding Logitech's marketing budget, not your wrist health. Your physiotherapist will tell you this. Logitech will not. The proprietary dongle prison. This is the final scam, and it is the one with the longest tail. Every major wireless mouse brand offers a proprietary wireless receiver. Logitech has unifying, then Bolt, then Logibolt, incompatible with unifying. Razer has Hyperspeed. Microsoft has its own 2.4 GHz receiver. Each receiver works only with that brand's mice. Many work only with specific product lines within that brand. Each receiver occupies one USB port permanently. Each receiver is a single point of failure. Lose it, damage it, or have it stop working, and your $99 wireless mouse becomes a $99 paperweight. Replacement proprietary receivers cost between $15 and $30 when they are available at all. Logitech's unifying receiver, used in mice sold between 2009 and 2021, is now discontinued. If your unifying receiver fails today, Logitech's official recommendation is to purchase a new mouse with the Bolt receiver. Not a new receiver, a new mouse. The proprietary dongle is not a technical necessity. Bluetooth exists. It is universal. It is already in every laptop, desktop, and professional workstation innovation sold in the last decade. A Bluetooth mouse requires no dongle, no USB port occupation, no single point of failure. It costs the manufacturer approximately 40 cents less per unit to use Bluetooth instead of a proprietary 2.4 GHz receiver, because they do not need to include the dongle in the box. So why do brands continue selling proprietary receivers alongside or instead of Bluetooth? Because proprietary ecosystems create brand lock-in. When your Logitech unifying receiver manages your mouse and your keyboard simultaneously, switching to a Razer or Microsoft peripheral means replacing both devices. The receiver is not a convenience feature. It is a retention mechanism, engineered to make switching brands more expensive and more inconvenient than buying another Logitech product. And when the receiver format changes, as Logitech did moving from unifying to bolt, the lock-in extends to forced hardware refresh cycles for entire peripheral setups. The proprietary dongle is not solving a technical problem. It is creating a commercial one, for you, not for them. Buy Bluetooth, keep the USB port, own your peripheral ecosystem. The brands will hate this advice. Your cable management setup will not. Before the comments, here is what professionals should actually be using. Under $40, Anker 2.4G wireless vertical mouse. True ergonomic design at 1/3 the Logitech MX vertical price. Same vertical angle, same core functionality, no proprietary dongle, Bluetooth and 2.4G both available. Under $60, Logitech M750, the honest Logitech pick. Logibolt receiver, multi-device, silent clicks, solid sensor at 4000 DPI, you will set to 1000 and leave there. No RGB tax, no premium upsell, just a well-built mouse at a fair price. Under $100, Microsoft Bluetooth ergonomic mouse. No proprietary dongle, no USB occupation. Bluetooth only, universal, clean, future-proof. Genuine ergonomic contour at a price that reflects the actual engineering cost rather than the marketing premium. Professional pick, Logitech MX Master 3S. Yes, after everything in this video, the MX Master 3S is genuinely worth its price for multi-monitor professionals who use it correctly. Silent clicks, mag speed scroll wheel, multi-device. Set the DPI to 1000. Accept the real-world 35-day battery life. It earns the premium. The original MX Master 3 does not. 5 scams, 1 peripheral, billions of dollars in annual revenue built on DPI numbers nobody needs, battery claims nobody verifies, wireless premiums nobody questions, ergonomic science nobody reads, and proprietary ecosystems nobody escapes. The wireless mouse industry survives because the numbers are small enough to feel reasonable and the marketing is good enough to feel trustworthy. Start doing the math. The receipts are right there on the box. Drop your current mouse in the comments. Brand, model, what you paid. Let's find out together if you got the right one. Subscribe. New video every week. No sponsorships, no brand deals, just the numbers.